So I've been having issues with my K-Swapped E30, and one of my sinking suspicions is that the timing is off a tooth. The timing chain has jumped a tooth or something happened. I did not complete the timing, but we are going to pull it off and verify all that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So if you guys can hear, I do sound very terrible. I was sick last week, and then we got into the weekend, and ACL is happening currently in Austin, which is a huge music festival that they do every year. And so I went to that, and I've lost my voice, and again, I was sick. So instead of putting out a video where I just sound terrible, I decided to rest, and today we will be tackling on the E30. So some of the issues that I was having with the E30 is when I was actually trying to tune the car and mess with the fuel table, I was actually adjusting the fuel percentage that the injector was actually giving off, and that wasn't changing anything. It wasn't changing the actual AFR as much as I've seen in other videos, right? And so one of my sinking suspicions is that if the timing chain is off a tooth, then it is not burning the fuel properly. So I thought the tuning thing was very weird. Alongside that, the car did still have a little bit of a rough idle, and I fixed it, but it still wasn't adjusting properly. So naturally what I did was I pulled off the valve cover and I set the cams and the engine to top dead center. And what was odd is that there are two holes in the back of the camshaft that you can put a cam lock tool in, and the exhaust side would slip in, and then the intake was really tight, and so it felt just off. So I had to adjust the crank for both of them to fit in properly. I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the valve cover to actually show you guys what I'm talking about. I can actually show you guys on the torn apart K-Series. On the camshaft there is a hole in the back, right? And then on the actual cam tray there's another hole. And so these line up with the camshaft. And so on this K-Series we can look and see how tight this one is. It's almost locked in there. And then this one moves freely in and out. And so when you try to line both of them up, one of them is always tighter than the other. And if you actually look, it doesn't look like we are fully lining up. So things are definitely not lining up properly, or at least how I would like them to be. So to completely verify, I'm going to pull off the front cover, and we should get a more accurate reading for top dead center to make sure that the things are actually off a tooth. So you guys have most likely seen this before. We will just need to pull off this belt, pull off the like 10 millimeters, pull off this motor mount, and then we will be able to pull off the crank. I'm gonna use this big breaker bar with a longer extension to get that crank off. I need a bigger breaker bar. Oh. Jesus. Oh my God. So I believe that I got all of the bolts off. You have to remember the 3 at the bottom, and there's also 2 right here that you shouldn't forget about. So I'm just going to give a soft little pry and pop this thing off. Nice. So after looking at the crank that came off, this thing is absolutely terrible. So I will be replacing this. You can see sometimes this thing can actually spin if it gets too worn down. So I will be replacing this regardless. Okay, so we finally got it off. If you look here, we can put this in the, you guys can see how high the actual piston is. So the piston is at top dead center. So if you look down here, you can see that there's a little arrow on the crank and a arrow on the engine, and those are currently lined up right now, right? And then if we come up here, we can see that the cams are off a degree. You can see that they are not lining up. So that is why I've been having so many gosh darn issues with this engine. So the cams are off a single tooth. The guy that owned the engine before me did the timing and he did not do it properly. So last time I actually trust somebody to do the timing. So if you guys do have a K-Series, if you guys are having this issue, shout out to a subscriber that reached out to me who was having a similar issue and actually made me think about the timing being potentially off. So we need to fix this, obviously. So what we are going to do is we are going to lock it in top dead center. We will pull off the tensioner. And I might actually get new guides for this engine because they are not actually replaced. So we will kind of decide on that. But the engine is off a tooth in timing. You guys might be thinking, why are you smiling? This is not a good thing, but it is a solved a thing that we can solve pretty easily. So we will be able to just adjust this a tooth and be able to fix this properly. And in terms of getting this all lined up, we are going to end the video and then in tomorrow's video, when I actually start putting this thing back together, we are going to show how to correctly time this engine. I got everything kind of pulled off, and we are going to be able to move these guys into time and get everything all properly lined up. But I just wanted to get a nice video out for you guys to show you what I've been dealing with and what I've been working on. Thank you guys all so much for being patient with me last week. I know I've been really sick, and I apologize for the clickbait because I know that I got a lot of you guys. So we are going to get the E30 fixed. We are going to get it in time properly, and we are going to actually fix this thing and be able to drive it very soon. A like on today's video and a subscribe to the channel would help out a ton. And until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.